Chris Livesay is in Kyiv following developments there. Chris, thanks for joining us. What more do we know about those apparent mass graves that have appeared in Mariupol? Has Russia responded to the accusations?
All right, those chilling images of the mass graves that were picked up by the Maxar satellites, according to the Ukrainian government, there look to be 200 freshly dug graves about 12 miles west of Mariupol. So far, there's no response from Russia, but in the past, Vladimir Putin has called such accusations of mass killing fake news, such as around here in Kyiv, where I am, in the nearby neighborhood of Bucha, that's now infamous for those images we've all seen of the bodies littering the streets, and now the growing number of graves as a result. What's so chilling about it is Vladimir Putin is calling Mariupol a victory now, and this is apparently what victory looks like, and we should all shudder to think what victory looks like in the rest of this country. And the sick irony is Vladimir Putin accuses Ukraine of being a Nazi country, yet Vladimir Putin is the one who wants to turn it into a mass grave and seemingly a concentration camp, when you consider that he's taking people out of occupied areas, moving them into separatist regions or even into Russia itself. There are reports, according to the Ukrainian ambassador to the United Nations, he says that more than 100,000 children have been taken out of southern Ukraine into Russia, and at the same time, Russia is loosening its laws for adopting children. So if this is what victory looks like, we should all be horrified about what might be to come.
Chris, we know conditions across Ukraine have been pretty dire for Ukrainians, a lack of resources, among other things. What do we know about the conditions for those trapped beneath that plant in Mariupol?
It's the picture of dire. It is, according to those trapped inside, they're afraid to go to the bathroom because that would mean leaving the lower levels of their bunker and going to the upper levels where they're more exposed to potential bombing. They've been underground in this windowless maze for going on 2 months now. The children were told by their mothers their teeth are starting to rot because they lack sunlight and vitamin D. They're running out of food. The containers that their food was in have become the toys that the children play with. They were offered an opportunity to leave this layer inside of the steel mill in Mariupol, but they've refused because they are afraid that they'll simply be gunned down or taken into camps like the ones that I just mentioned. So for the time being, they show no sign of giving up their resistance. For Russia's part, they had been trying to extract those living inside or bomb them out. In fact, there have been Russian officials who have even mentioned smoking them out, suggesting the use of chemical weapons. Yesterday, Vladimir Putin told his defense minister not to try and remove them because he didn't want to risk losing Russian lives, the lives of the soldiers in the area, but instead to stiffen the blockade of the area so that not even a fly could get out. So we're left to assume that they will quite possibly die of thirst and starvation like so many other people in Mariupol have already died, because let's not forget the entire city was under a blockade since the beginning of this conflict. Many have already died because of lack of food and water, and that seems to be the fate that Vladimir Putin is wishing upon the people inside of this compound.
Chris Livesay describing a horrific and impossible situation there for the Ukrainians.
It's so chilling. I have the chills just listening to you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.